All right, so we're Nerd to Know Media. We do a podcast every week on Phoenix 92.5 FM, Spotify and YouTube. Again, please subscribe, that'd be awesome. I'm Darragh O'Connor. I've worked for the Wrestling Rewind, the What Culture, Sun, all that kind of good stuff. And we've been doing this show for about 6 years. And Kev, introduce yourself there, buddy.
My name is Kev. As you can see, I also host on a daily basis, and about nothing else, but I'm a pretty alright bass player. So that's about what you need to know.
So look, I usually write these. I didn't write this one. Kev did. So he's going to be driving the bus here in this, and I'm just going to be doing the tech and be it like I don't know anything about this except for Gundam because I make them. Other than that,
that's the one thing I was going to ask. The question was just kind of as a general temperature of the room. Just hands up to anyone here who has not engaged with like Metal Gear as a franchise at all.
Oh,
not. Okay, so a lot of people, but some people that are going to be learning. That's great because this is going to be, the first half of this is going to be an interactive, or an educational segment kind of going through. So, as some of you may have seen, this is this a Metal Gear? An interactive history of mecha and the real robot genre. If we actually can go back for one second, you are absolutely right in thinking that the entire basis of this panel is from me waking up in the middle of the night, seeing this meme and making it. This is basically the entire hinge of the whole thing.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
All right. All right, cool.
So, first thing first, what is Metal Gear? So, it is a video game franchise produced by Konami starting in 1987 for the Microsoft MSX and then being ported to various different consoles like the Nintendo Entertainment System. It primarily gained a lot of its popularity in 1998 with the PS1 release of its third entry, Metal Gear Solid, its first entry in 3D, and the
probably the one that most people played as well.
Thereabouts.
I remember when that came out because I was like 6.
That's because it was really pushing like kind of cinematography in like early 3D games because of this little man right here, Hideo Kojima. A man who is stuck making video games, but you can tell he really just wants to make movies. Hold on this for a sec.
Oh.
We'll come back to that. First thing, just a couple of notes I like to point out. First off, as you can see, this is the original cover for the original MSX Metal Gear, and is very clearly just a Photoshop picture of Michael Biehn from Terminator.
It literally is.
That they absolutely did not have the rights for.
No.
And that about shows where the video game industry was in the 1980s. Wild West. And also, as I mentioned, when it got its popularity in Metal Gear Solid, as I said, it was really pushing the boundaries of cinematography and like game direction and like cinematic language of video games. But that's all to say it was very early 3D because pushing the boundaries of design and cinematography resulted in this blob right here. Hideo Kojima's exact description of this man is the body of Jean-Claude Van Damme and the face of Christopher Walken.
I can see that.
And this is the result. Yeah. My beautiful Solid Snake. So there is a lot that you can say about Hideo Kojima. A lot of people describe him as a visionary, an auteur, a mastermind of game design. I would describe him also as a clout chaser. This man absolutely loves taking pictures of himself with celebrities, scanning them and putting them in his video games. Something that has not truly stopped since the 90s and is still going to this day with Death Stranding.
Which, like, one of the pictures is Norman Reedus, right?
Yeah, Norman Reedus right there. Also, the best way I can describe his relationship with Mads Mikkelsen, even though he definitely has his phone number, that is a parasocial relationship. If you go through Hideo Kojima's Instagram, there are several pictures of him with Mads Mikkelsen action figures. There are also several Mads Mikkelsen action figures. I think he owns all of them. So, what's Metal Gear about? At its heart, it's really a very grounded wartime espionage game. Themes and plots revolving around, the nuclear arms race, deep state cover-ups, informational warfare, actual kind of like real world problems. It is a tale of drama, action, and patriotism, what it means to love one's country. At its heart, Darragh, next slide. It's a very serious video game.
How do you square that circle between like the highfalutin themes and the goofiness?
It really just like pushes both to the absolute extremes. Okay, but no, serious. Like the games, as I said, the tone is fairly dissonant, but it has enough tongue-in-cheek to get away with a lot of the fun. So, just kind of run through, I say, some of my favorite moments of the franchise are that time you fight an actual, real, legitimate psychic, fist fighting a cyborg ninja, finding a hidden spy by staring at butts, befriending a dog by letting them pee on you for the scent, you see. Getting flim-flammed into activating a very, very dangerous weapon of mass destruction. We call that one in the business an oopsie. Immediately becoming absolute best friends with a man who just peed himself. That's my darling husband right there. He's best friends. And history will say that they're friends. They ride off into the sunset on a jet ski together. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. She can't cook eggs for the life of her. We love her to bits. And also, of course, let's not forget that you get that the climax of the first game is getting lectured about genetics by your clone who is now shirtless. What I would like to point out as well is that all of this is from one game. And I can guarantee you every other entry in the game goes about as buck wild, if not more so. Okay, so no, seriously, what is the plot of Metal Gear about? We're not going to get into specifics of each game because there is about 12.5 of them and they do get pretty wild and convoluted. But kind of broadly speaking of each of them, they are mostly about the exploits of a man named Snake and his war against bipedal tanks. I say a man named Snake because I believe as far as protagonists go, we're on 3. And as far as men named Snake, I think there's 5. 6 counting Raiden. Raiden is also a man.
Didn't everybody hate Raiden? Wasn't he like the poochie?
It was the whole fact of on the release of 2, the entire run-up campaign, because people loved Snake was the protagonist of the first game. People love Solid Snake, and I can see why. Man, absolutely oozes cool. The thing is that on the entire run-up and campaign to 2, they only focused on, and here's Snake in like PS2 graphics, and we're going to focus on Snake. And then the game released, and Snake was not the main character of that game. Instead was a very effeminate man named Raiden, who whined all the time.
The old switcheroo.
Listen, I love Metal Gear Solid 2 to bits. He whines for a reason. That man is not doing okay. Sorry, we had a question over in the back there.
There's this guy say, technically there's 4, but we don't need to get into that.
4 snakes?
Yes.
Solid, liquid, solidus, venom.
What? You're forgetting about MGS5.
Sorry, no, I meant men named snakes.
Yeah.
Venom.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Sorry. Solidus, liquid, solid, venom snake, naked snake.
Yeah.
I believe that's very much you're on right.
I'm going to ask a noob question because I don't know. Explain to me Outer Heaven. A little bit. See, I only know the terms. So I don't know what they are. There we go.
He's not wrong. Basically, what if we had a military and no government?
Sounds alright.
And we just did what we want in a big playhouse.
Sounds alright to me. I haven't played the game, so we'll find out. Maybe it'll change. Okay.
But for kind of the purpose, mostly for the purpose of this panel, one of the most defining things about Metal Gear is that it is probably one of the most popular titles in the real robot genre. So we're going to kind of take a detour into what that means specifically. So real robot is actually itself a spin-off from the super robot genre and overall kind of the mecha genre as general. Mecha, of course, being genre particularly about robots.
Big robots that fight.
Big robots that fight.
Yeah.
So this whole thing started off in 1958 with the release of the manga Tetsujin 28, which is this round boy up here, in all of its glorious post-war Japan art style.
Very much so.
And they typically follow the genre as a whole typically tends to follow the exploits of usually a teenager finding ancient or extraterrestrial robots that tend to have any form of kind of sentience or like life.
Okay.
And fight evil. So as I said, it got its start in the 50s as with a manga. Throughout the 60s, it got its own anime adaptation after Astrobot created anime.
Yeah, that fella literally looks like Astrobot.
Yeah, no, they all look like that back in the 60s. That's just 60s anime in a nutshell, because they only had like 10 frames of animation back then. But the genre really kind of got its kickstart with a guy named Go Nagai, who created both Mazinger Z and Getter Robo over there in the 70s. And absolutely, Go Nagai basically is the grandfather of robots. The reason that there is giant fighting robots in every anime, you can thank Go Nagai.
So it would just be the progenitor of like Super Sentai and Power Rangers?
Yeah, I don't know. See, that's the one thing I don't know is next to anything about Sentai. It's like the one part I didn't realize.
Robots that fight.
Is that it?
Usually fight Monster of the Week, so it's a mix between like.
Came after Kamen Rider brought back Tokusatsu, didn't it?
That was quite. Yeah, that's what.
Sentai, more the Kamen Rider side.
That's fair. Yeah, like you have the.
I think Kamen Rider is basically the start of Sentai. At least it's
is.
one of those
That
popular.
is the start of it, yeah.
Tokusatsu back in like the 60s, 70s, and then like around the late 80s on, you get like the first series of Kamen Rider.
Yeah.
Brings it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Sentai came after that.
Maybe.
I would say.
Early Sentai was
I
84.
was gonna say, I'm fairly sure that Ultraman predates Kamen Rider.
You are
right. You are right. Yeah.
Ultraman, I get that he's like a humanoid kaiju who looks like metal, but very clearly a derivative of the super robot genre as well.
Yeah, like I think for all intents and
That's
purposes,
what it really seems
Ultraman
like.
is a robot. Let's not mince words there.
Yeah, that's really what it seems like, and it's like
Yeah.
from the looks of it here, a lot of the ground rules of that whole genre, or a couple of genres, were set up here in like '56.
Yeah, and also all this kind of goes in hand with just like Japan's obviously post-war recovery.
Yeah.
You know, the 60s were really kind of when they started getting their
Do you
feet
guys
in the
ever see
ground
the
again.
first Godzilla, like from the '50s? Yeah, that movie's dark. It was a dark movie.
But that was Super Robot. But as I said, a lot of like the tendencies of Super Robot in its inception focused on a lot of kind of like pseudo magical elements, which then creators started to kind of think about and take a spin on, and what if we make this a bit more grounded, realistic, and tell a lot more grounded stories. And from that we got Mobile Suit Gundam in 1979, which takes some of the hallmarks of the likes of Mazinger and Getter Robo and grounds it in more kind of politically fraught war drama. So if anybody here has watched the original kind of 79 Gundam, on top of being a kind of fight robot of the week, it does, as the series goes on, it does kind of delve more serially into the likes of PTSD and imperialism and that with the Zeon Empire. And also, actually, another fun fact just about Gundam is while it mostly takes place in obviously a fictional version of the galaxy where people went out and colonized basically the entire solar system, and most of the places therein are fictional, there is an episode that does take place very specifically in Northern Ireland, which does indicate that the Troubles are in fact canon to the Gundam universe from its inception. So, you know, do with that information what you will.
So that's Captain Planet, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Gundam that the Troubles are canon in. That's real. That's not a joke. That's a real
Planet?
thing.
How did Captain Planet come up with Northern Ireland?
If you guys haven't seen it, it's so funny. So there's a fella called Sean O'Brien, and he tries to petrobomb someone. And I'm not going to use the terms because the terms are like real terms, and you can look it up. It's on YouTube. It's very funny. It's How is it that Captain Planet's portrayal of Northern Ireland was harder than Gundam's? Well, see, Captain Planet, he goes in and tries to fix the things. That's his whole deal, right? But it's proper hardcore. It's proper hardcore.
I don't want to derail this, but if we're talking about science fiction depictions of the Troubles, it's worth noting
Always.
that canonically in Star Trek, there was a brute force reunification last year.
Last year, that's true. That's true.
It's a damn shame that, it wasn't Nostradamus.
If the Simpsons had done it, though, it probably would have happened.
Oh, certainly.
Yeah,
absolutely. But all this saying, for the purpose of this panel, of which There will be a quiz afterwards.
And prizes.
One of the defining modes of the Gundam and the Zaku's and various other robots involved in the Gundam universe, they are produced by a human military and are mass produced. So we are now going to move on to the reason for the season, the Metal Gear. Okay? The focus of basically the entire franchise and why we're here today. So, as you can see, we can kind of run through here and see a lot of defining features about what the Metal Gear is. For the most part, the most defining thing about it is that they are bipedal tanks. They walk. Mm-hmm. The thought process being that they can kind of scale any terrain like a person would. We don't need to get into the science of it. But if we want to go to the next part, we are going to detail what I would consider the primary criteria for the definition of a Metal Gear. When we are asking the question, what is a Metal Gear? Or is this a Metal Gear? I should know the name of my own bleeding panel.
You wrote it. I'm reading this for the second time.
When you ask the question, is this a Metal Gear? These are what I would consider the 6 most defining traits of a Metal Gear. Bipedal walking tank. Its ability to be controlled directly by a pilot or piloted remotely from an external location.
So a pilot's inside it?
Yeah.
But he can also be remote?
Yeah, they can be piloted remotely from like a computer.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Both.
So yeah, it could be like a mecha suit. It doesn't have to be like a robot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Its ability to be mass produced on a large scale. Typically, Metal Gears have a built-in conventional weapons arsenal of automatic weapons, ballistic missiles, conventional weapons. Separately, it also has the ability to be modified to launch a nuclear strike. That'll be important as the games go on. And also, one of its most defining features, because it happens in every single game, is its ability to be easily taken by a radical terrorist cell for use against the US military. Every single time they make one of these things, it is stolen.
So just number 5 and 6 are interesting. So they build this walking tank that can have nukes on it, and they didn't build in a way to secure it from radical terrorists.
Not at all.
Well, that, right there, it's a problem.
That's a problem. That's a design fault. That one, yeah. And again, if we go back a slide, they've done this about a dozen times.
They did put a securely.
They did put a padlock on it, but it was a master lock, so you know.
Yeah. Well, actually, no. They put a temperature controlled key on one of them, only one of them. And again, if we can revert back to the slide about getting flim-flammed into activating a WMD, that. So as long as you have a man gullible enough to be tricked, you can get a Metal Gear.
But to log into your Gmail account, 2-factor authentication, sometimes it just doesn't let you in.
Yeah, no, they never figured out how to get a text password in a Metal Gear.
No, never.
Now, get a bike lock would solve this issue. But hold on.
Sorry.
As you can see, there are 6 categories. That's an even number. We do need a tiebreaker because as we go into this, we are going to be defining a Metal Gear on majority rules. So we do need an odd number. So it's my tiebreaker category is, can it roar like a T-Rex? Most of them can. Is there a reason they can? Rules of nature. It's cool.
I would have said that. It's just cool. Yeah.
Officially, I think they have reasoned about something sonar, but no, it's just sick.
Version the ion cannon?
Yeah,
that sounds about right.
Needs to roar like a T-Rex to do that. Absolutely, you gotta trust the guys down in R&D. They say we can't do it. We also can't put a 4-number passcode on it.
So see, they can only do one or the other. They're like, listen, lads, we only have the money to do the T-Rex roar or cybersecurity. Which one do you want? And they're like, T-Rex roar. Come on, look, as someone who works in cybersecurity, right? No, they don't listen. This happens all the time.
Again, if we go back to my beautiful husband, Mr. Otacon, Mad who peed his pants, he is a man who designed Metal Gears, and I quote, to look like my Japanese anime. So,
oh my god.
So yes, that's the man that's going to choose to make them roar like a T-Rex.
I love that.
We love that for him. So, thus ends the educational portion of this panel, and now we move into the pop quiz. Is this a Metal Gear? I am now going to present you with a variety of different items, objects, paraphernalia, and using my foolproof, scientific 7-category method, we together are going to define, is this a Metal Gear? Question?
So, we're going kind of on the rules of Metal Gear stuff. Minus the very last one, in theory, would the Titans on Attack on Titan be considered?
Do you know what? I think we're gonna start into this, and we'll
circle back.
We'll circle back to that.
We'll circle.
We're gonna see how. I think we're doing pretty good on time.
We will circle back to it. We won't just like run out.
Yeah, no. But before we do that, I think we're gonna really kind of like start off easy. Okay, we're gonna really kind of use this to kind of go through the categorization. So our first one, of course, is Metal Gear Rex from Metal Gear Solid 1. It should be obvious, but let's just run down the categories here. Okay, so is it a bipedal walking tank? You got it. Can it be controlled directly or activated remotely? See this where I think what could generally be called the maw? That's a pilot cockpit, so yes. I think it has also been activated remotely by hacked into by a tiny version of itself in 4. So yes, it can be both.
Again, cybersecurity budget. Why doesn't it exist? I don't understand.
Great question. Moving on.
They needed it to roar.
That's true.
No, they are not sentient.
That's where all the money went.
As I said, that's what makes it more distinctly in the real robot genre.
Actually, they spend it on blackjack and hookers.
Oh, there you go. Much better use of money.
Absolutely. No, they spend it on training actual legitimate psychics and other absolute freakazoids. They turn a man into a vampire.
You don't call blackjack vampires, it's bisexual.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As of course.
Yeah, naturally.
He's the bisexual, I remember that.
Yes.
Also,
lest you be concerned, he is not the only bisexual. He is just one of them.
they're all bisexual and they all want stuff to roar like T-Rexes. That's what I'm gathering from this. I mean, absolutely, rock on, but like, cybersecurity budget, come on, let's do it.
Can it be mass produced? While Rex was not, it was intended to be before it was stolen by a terrorist cell. So yes, we can put that in a tick. Has it a built-in conventional weapons arsenal? Yes, it does. In the boss fight, you fight it. There are machine guns, there are ballistic missiles. Can it be modified to launch a nuclear strike? Yes. Its railgun is modified to do that in the first game. Again, when it was stolen by a radical terrorist cell against the US military.
Because a railgun isn't powerful enough.
And what?
A railgun isn't powerful enough. They're like, I don't need that.
Science.
The magical weapon. No, nuke.
And of course, as I've mentioned a couple of times, it was in fact stolen by a rogue terrorist cell for use against the US military. That is a fact that is documented. And for good measure, while it does not need a tiebreaker, of course it can roar like a T-Rex.
It's in the name. It would be disappointing if it didn't.
So I think we can categorically say that yes, Metal Gear X is a Metal Gear. So if we move on, now we're going to start kind of branching out a little bit, okay? So we're going to actually go to the original Mobile Suit Gundam, aka the White Devil. The 70s was a wild time.
Or X78 is going to be more.
Yeah, that's probably yeah.
Let's be more, yeah.
Also fun, apparently.
So that's, of course, we're all down the categories. Is it bipedal? Yes, it is a walking tank. Can it be controlled directly or activated remotely? Yes, there is a cockpit in it that is controlled by a pilot. So yes, we can put that in a tick as 2. Can it be mass produced? While I believe it is not in the first game or the first series, as the franchise goes on, the mobile suits are reproduced. If not the Gundam, I know obviously the Zaku's and the whatnot are mass produced. So I can confidently put that as a yes. So that's 3 in that category. Has it a built-in conventional weapon system? You know what? I would consider a laser sword and a laser ball on chain to be conventional weapons.
It's also just a weapon.
If they're mass produced to the point where it's just a normal weapon, then yeah, in its world. In our world, no, it's not, because the amount of people that would kill themselves from a lightsaber would be astronomical. But yeah, I think we can go with that.
I think that's a ticket.
Yeah,
category. Yeah.
I mean, if you like bought one, like as a toy, would like have one, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Can it be modified to launch a nuclear missile? I believe it can.
From where?
So here's the thing that's really not like giving in this is the absolute scale of this thing.
Oh yeah, they are very big. Yeah.
Except hundreds of feet tall.
Mm-hmm.
You can absolutely fit a nuclear launcher on this guy somewhere.
Yeah, like a tactical nuke.
Yeah.
The tactical, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, just yeet it. Like,
Well, in Starship Troopers, remember they have the little small nukes? Yeah, so I suppose, yeah.
so I think
wouldn't be a city
a
ender.
trepidatious, yes.
Yeah,
I'll say.
yeah,
I
okay.
would say that the ships they have that actually fire nuclear warheads is like standard artillery.
That's
Yes,
true, yeah.
they're
That's very
constantly firing
Yeah.
nukes
so
at
they
people.
could
Yeah.
grab them and flame if they wanted.
That's
Yeah.
true as well, yeah.
Probably modify it, but they produce it.
But see, if you're using small tactical nukes as well, I suppose. I mean, we're getting into the weeds. But yeah, I think we can get this one.
I think we can.
Yeah,
Okay,
get this one down.
trepidatious,
Okay.
yes. Can it be easily stolen by a radical terrorist telegraph used against the US military?
Yes. Yes.
It was commandeered by a bunch of teenagers.
Yes.
But it's not the US military, it's the Earth Federation. It's not how. Like, if you get
we'll let that one slide under.
Yeah. I do not.
A government.
Just a government.
There we
Yeah,
go.
that's fair. That's fair.
fair.
Yeah, we'll strike. We'll give the U.S. military a pass on this one.
No T-Rex one.
I do
No
not
T-Rex.
believe it has roared like a T-Rex. So that is one mark against it, but that is still 6 out of our 7 categories. So I can confidently say that yes, the RX-78 Gundam is a Metal Gear.
And to be fair, if it was commandeered by some scientist, bisexual or not, who really liked T-Rexes, he probably could hook up the sound system.
Probably could. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just get like a little
Bluetooth head connection. Boom.
like a $3 Amazon speaker and
There you
and a YouTube link.
In the origin films, actually, did they show Bidovsky at all? Zeon tried to take him. Like,
Yeah.
they had some plans of the RX-78 via Amano. Right in saying that? I half remember it.
That sounds about right. That sounds about right. Yeah.
At all. Like, it was around that early days, like Bidovsky part was just getting revealed, kind of discovered.
Uh-huh.
I forget the exact details, but there was a lot of like, we took Bidovsky and now he's defected, and we took him. It felt very Metal Gear actually. When I think of the scientist guy just like flipping sides, there was something, I think on some plans, there was some like surveillance going on.
That sounds about par for the course.
Technically, they were taken by a terrorist cell. If you want to get
Again, I'm really focused on the fact that this was taken from its inception by a bunch of teenagers. So I think a radical terrorist cell could probably do a little better than that. And I'm going to say yeah. So moving on, we're going to get.
Oh, this is a good one.
Yeah,
This is
no,
a
I think
good
we're
one.
going to go knock it up
Yeah.
another notch.
Yeah,
So with
that's a
the
good
AVA
one.
Unit 1. So, again, going down the list. Is it a bipedal walking tank? Yes, confidently it is. Can it be controlled directly or operated remotely? At the very least, it is controlled directly. I do not believe that the AV units could be remotely.
You had to be
Not-
synced. Yeah.
No, not the AV units, but there was the mass-produced AVAs.
Are we? We're not talking about that though, are we?
No, we're focusing on the AV Unit 1,
Yeah.
but at the very least, it can be controlled directly with the plug suit and the whole weird birth fluid thing.
The dummy plug system as well.
Yeah. Yes, dummy plug. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's confident. That's good. That's good.
I was just going to say, you might be going to this one. Kind of might back to you, sorry.
Got it. Can they be mass produced? What? They made 4 of these at least, modern AVA units, but again, they did start mass producing AVAs. And that's the AVA Unit 2 fault. So I think that's a confident yes. In A form, AVA alien units were mass produced. Has it a built-in conventional weapons arsenal? If we could say a lightsaber was the fact that it carries just a very large machine gun.
I think conventional is like in its universe. Is it
Yeah.
conventional in its universe? Then yeah. So
sniper rifle too.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, so, you know.
And I think with that, and I think similar to the Gundam unit, if you can say modified to launch a nuclear missile is picking it up and absolutely banking it across the city. Yeah. And also, if we're going to get into like conventional weapons, the stuff this thing pulls. if we're getting into the weeds of it, of whether or not it can launch a nuclear missile when it brings about the apocalypse, I think we can put a confident yes on that.
But can it be considered real robot and by proxy a Metal Gear? Because spoilers for anyone who's still making their way through Evangelion, it is a living
sentient being. They did put the boy's mother in the robot. That's a good point. And I think that's a kind of a question of like when Evangelion was kind of in its inception, Anno was really trying to make his own spin on real robot back to super robot. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of an interesting line. I don't have an answer. And I think that's kind of one of those things that is one of those queries that has like plagued forums truly since this show came out. Good point. Valid point, and definitely a valid case for discussion. It doesn't follow the list.
we do have a criteria.
Scientific method here, gang. And yes, it can roar like a T-Rex by the way. Yes.
So I think it gets the thing.
So we're covered. We're clean. We're all having fun here at Amikon. And in the spirit of the weekend, and especially to absolutely shout out the incredibly talented Mallory Rodak, who is the guest here.
Kev, so remember, this is an audio.
I'm getting to it.
You have to tell why everybody laughed.
It's called build up, Dara.
That's fair. I have no patience. Go.
No patience and no sense of drama. In honor of the extremely talented Mallory Rodak, who is, of course, the lead guest here, I would like to ask the very serious question: can we consider Freerun to be a Metal Gear?
I'm very much interested in this. I need this answer.
Who here has seen the show?
I watched it. Was in the other room.
Oh, there was a couple of episodes playing earlier.
Yeah.
So we have 75% of the room have seen it?
Those of you who have seen it, I would very clearly define Freerun as a bipedal walking tank. That woman is a walking weapon of mass destruction. I'm going to say I do not believe she can be controlled directly or activated remotely. That woman is a loose cannon.
So we got one so far.
We got one. This is we're getting trickier now. They're not all going to so cleanly fit into the categories.
Does she directly control herself via her brain?
Oh, that's a great question. Actually, that is and that is a fantastic question that was going to come up later. So this is a great time to bring this up. This is going to be group consensus here. Is your brain the pilot to your flesh suit? Hands up. Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. That's... I do apologize. You are in the minority here, but you can continue on with the belief that you were right.
It's definitely more of a symbiotic relationship.
I'm always saying that about myself. In that I feel like Venom.
Because the brain, I will take over the time in this, but I don't.
If they are a person of flesh and bone being controlled by a brain, then that does put a tick in the. Oh, that bus stop was 5 hours, 10 minutes ago. We have lost the plot here.
So what? 2.
Is Freerun a Metal Gear?
Sorry, I'm watching something.
So actually, that does put us the tick in the can be controlled remotely. Can Freerun be mass produced? I am going to say no, mostly because I believe there is only like 2 elves in that series. They cannot do that. Also, in terms of mass production of people, we're just not going to be weird about it, okay, guys? We're on a 5. So everybody just be real chill for like a little while.
Freerun has been mass produced. Go to the trade hall.
You know what? I'm going to allow that.
Super got me. Absolutely got me. Does Freerun have a conventional built-in weapons arsenal? I'm going to say yes. That woman wreaks havoc on a scale truly insurmountable.
Conventional.
Again, I think we've been pretty clear about conventional for
elves. Magic weapon elf can do anything. That makes sense.
They can learn it.
It's true.
If
If.
Big magic.
We kept that as modification.
Yeah.
Therefore, she could use
Use
Oh,
nukes.
she could launch a nuke.
You beat me to it by a
yeah.
second. I was just about to say.
Okay,
fire nuke.
she gets 1 out of the 2, certainly. I'm going to say confidently. So what that leaves on? That puts us on 3. Can Freerun be stolen by a rogue terrorist cell for use against the military? I do not believe she can. I think that would be extremely difficult. This woman is wily.
Cookies.
I think she has, like, listen, I get you, I understand you, I see you. Give her like 10 minutes, I think she'd figure it out.
What are super good cookies?
What?
What are
There's 20 minutes.
She's still stick cookie and run away. So.
Yeah. I think that puts us on 3, so we do need
Come back for more cookies.
She would. And then she'd absolutely level the entire base. I think that's on 3. I think we're at a tie, so can Freerun roar like a T-Rex? Absolutely she can. That's a tick for Freerun, she's Metal Gear.
Kev, if you have nukes in this, I'm going to be very, very impressed.
So beautiful.
We're here asking the important questions. Is my 2007 Honda Civic a Metal Gear?
Is there a Republic element?
That's what's in this pack? No, that'd be great.
Okay. And you know what, actually? I think this is where we're going to start with the prizes, actually.
Okay.
Okay? I'm not going to run down... We did not discuss the prizes before we got here, so we're really flying this by the seat of our pants. But...
As is tradition.
I'm going to just kind of say it. I'm just going to...
7.
Sorry?
No, just try.
Good shot. First hand up. Guessing game. And using our scientific method.
Yes.
Do you believe my Honda Civic to be a Metal Gear?
You can't just say yes, you have to come up and justify it.
They were, yeah, no.
I have to justify it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, talk into the microphone.
Where is this list again?
But I
Okay.
go back to the list.
It can definitely roar.
It can.
I've seen a lot of bangers in my time, from Finglas.
Roaring like a T-Rex, my God.
Mass produced, yes.
Yeah.
Is it a conventional weapon system? It
can be.
depends on your mentality, I think, to be honest. Like, again, I grew up in Finglas.
You've seen enough Honda Civics with conventional weapons involved. I think, yeah, you're
Mad fast car, like.
Can it be modified to launch a nuclear arsenal?
I give it like 3 years.
You go to enough shops. You go to enough auto shops around Fur House. You can find out.
I mean, I was going to say, give it 3 years. It sounds like you've already been there.
Is it a bipedal walking tank?
No.
Absolutely correct.
Give it 3 years.
I mean, you haven't tried hard enough.
Saturn, was it?
Yes.
Yes, my
What did I
Get
get?
a little robot.
A little robot. Aww. This is so sweet. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, so
Next slide.
Next slide. My love, my greatest love.
Darren,
I wish. That's the answer. I wish.
as the resident expert.
I wouldn't say expert. Does someone want to take this, or do you want me to do it? You want me to do it?
Well, you know, we've got
I
prizes.
can't win a prize.
We've still got prizes to give out.
I
Yeah.
can go again on behalf of someone.
I think I am going to say.
Really shy, I can like.
I think I am going to say 1 prize per person.
We have 3 more prizes to give out. So who wants a shot at this?
I think you, sir, your hand was first. What was your name, sir?
Simon.
Simon? There's your microphone.
Give me that list. Is it mass produced? Yes, it's the Dreamcast.
It would. I would reckon not mass produced enough.
Yeah. Had a 3-year lifespan, a year and a half in the West.
Yeah. So
Devastating.
It's a
I do
bipedal.
own 2 though.
Is it bipedal? No, but you can do anything with the Dreamcast nowadays.
That's true.
You can modify
That's very true.
I can modify that Dreamcast.
and I think that's it. No, I think that I am happy putting a point in can be modified to do a nuclear strike.
Yeah, because it's got
the mods people can do on a Dreamcast.
Like, here's the thing. I know a friend who's done a lot of like Dreamcast Sega modding. He could.
Yes.
It also can run Linux, so you could get a
That's
pretty
it,
cool
Darren.
tax.
Yeah.
I believe, and I think actually it is fair to point out, in its capacity to be controlled remotely or directly.
Yeah.
It's got Wi-Fi.
Oh, yeah.
It's got Wi-Fi.
Yeah, it's got-
and the controllers do have.
Yeah, I can just make a wireless controller. There we go.
There we
Or
go.
wired. Dare and not dare.
Absolutely. And kind of roll like a T-Rex.
Oh, man. Mod that bleep, baby.
Simon, do you believe the Sega Dreamcast can be categorized as Metal Gear?
Would enough modding? Yes.
Hey!
You're absolutely correct.
Okay, so your choice is the Gundam kit or 3 Stormtroopers.
I'll take the gun kiss.
Go for it.
Actually,
Oh, it's a good
I was about to say to you, I'm going to hold the gun kit. There's a very important question that will be asked.
Okay.
That's right. I'll take.
You get the Stormtroopers.
Good.
The Gundam kit will be for all the beans in the can.
There you go, boss.
Thank you very much, Simon. Now, moving
Oh, here we
swiftly
go.
onward.
Yeah. Okay.
My parent-in-law's cat, Bumblebee. I believe your hand was first there in the back of the black t-shirt.
Give it 3 years.
It's really named after Transformers. So.
It is in fact. He is in fact named after the Transformer. You're absolutely correct. What is your name?
My name is Harper.
Harper? You're welcome. Now, as we run down the list, is Bumblebee a bipedal walking tank?
Oh gosh, yes. No!
Oh.
There's a no here! Bipedal!
Incorrect. Bumblebee is a quadruped.
We can train Bumblebee! Give
As somebody who has
Bumblebee
lived with
time.
Bumblebee for several years, no, you cannot.
I'm brokenhearted. I've already gone wrong on the first answer.
So wrong on the first one.
Can Bumblebee be controlled directly or activated remotely?
Definitely not. There's no way you can control
Definitely
that
not.
cat.
Absolutely. Can Bumblebee be mass produced?
No, there is
Definitely
only
not.
one Bumblebee.
One of a kind. Has Bumblebee got a built-in conventional weapons arsenal?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Those claws, they'll tear you apart limb from limb.
Bang on, Harper.
And teeth.
And teeth.
Yeah.
And teeth, bitings.
Can Bumblebee be modified to launch a nuclear strike?
It's hard to say. We don't know what Bumblebee is doing on their free time.
It's true.
There could be a
I can confidently say, lying in the sun.
I have a bunch. I have a bunch of cats. They could kind of do anything.
Cats don't need to be modified, they will already fire nukes.
It's true.
Fair.
I like that answer.
That's 2.
Can Bumblebee be stolen by a radical terrorist cell?
I do not believe they can.
That's also
I
a
think.
no.
Well, I think they can. He can be stolen.
Yeah, not going to hold
He
him
just
for
is
very
not.
long.
He is of no use as a threat deterrent against a foreign military. Can Bumblebee roll like T-Rex?
Yes.
So, by category of process of elimination, is Bumblebee a Metal Gear?
I'm going to have to say no.
Yep. Big no.
Womp
You're
womp.
absolutely right.
Big no.
Not a Metal Gear.
Big no.
Not all going to put them as Metal Gears.
You're a coward.
Thank you very much, Harper. You did get that correct, so go claim a prize.
Awesome.
Hold on. Are we giving the kit away now, or are we giving another prize? Okay. last one.
I'll tell you when the kit's going.
A Star Wars cup. Enjoy.
Nice.
I think we can actually run the next one down
That's
pretty
the last
good.
prize. We're out.
Oh, is that the last prize?
That's the last one.
We've got more.
We only have one more. That one.
Okay, the prize. I'll tell you when the prize is going.
Okay.
But okay, without a prize though, I think we can actually run the next one pretty quickly because I think using the previous process of
I'm
elimination,
gonna
I think
say
we can.
yeah. This thing's
hold on.
scary.
This
Is
Is this specific? We need to know these cats because I know some other cats I think we could get.
I'm gonna say no. I haven't seen this before. Right. This cat probably could launch a nuclear strike.
Probably.
I love it.
He is a clever boy.
I love it.
Yeah, for the audio, of course, we are now referring to my friend's cat Smooch. We are in the detour of this where I'm just showing off some of the cool cats in my life. So I think we can run again pretty easily. Is it a quadruped? No. Smooch is a biped. Or Smooch is a quadruped, not a biped. Can he be controlled directly? Absolutely not. Smooch does as Smooch will.
Yep.
Can Smooch be reproduced? That is a one-of-a-kind boy. Absolutely not. Has Smooch got a built-in weapons arsenal? Yes. Claws and teeth. Can Smooch be modified to launch a nuclear missile? I
Yes.
think we said maybe.
Maybe. I would say yes. Look at those eyes.
Is that I think that was 2, wasn't it?
That's 2.
Can he be easily stolen for use against the military? Same as Bumblebee. He will be stolen. He is useless. He will lie in the sun and look adorable. Can he roar like a T-Rex? You bet he can. He is not a Metal Gear. But look at that face. Now, we've had a lot of fun here looking at cats. We got to get back down to the serious science. Is WWE superstar John Cena a Metal Gear?
I can't see him. He's
You're
gone.
so right. You're so right. You, sir, with the cap. Might I remind you, there is no price for this. He would still like to come up.
No,
Yeah.
you're just doing it for the glory, sir.
That is fair. No, for the love of the game.
For Scotland.
What is your name?
Jared.
Jared?
Yep.
There's your microphone.
All right. So, first things first. He is, well, I mean, he's invisible. Like, can we really see him? Do we know if he has 2, 4, whatever, however many legs? But for all intents and purposes, for the headcanon, yes, he is a walking 2 bipedal tank.
Absolutely correct.
Let me try to.
Can he be controlled directly or activated remotely?
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Beat me to it. Yeah.
You know what? That's far more clever than my justification for this.
No.
Because my justification was Vince McMahon.
Well, he's gone. It's Triple H now.
That's true. But I mean, there's many spicy takes we could take with John Cena, but the most accurate one at the moment, he sold his soul to The Rock.
Yep.
No.
So he is he's controlled.
In light of modern events.
In light of modern events.
Can John Cena be mass produced?
No. He's one of one.
Nah,
they've tried coming close.
Okay, he's lost one.
Does his action figures not count?
Actually,
yeah.
We did make that claim. Okay, yeah, he can be mass produced.
Yeah. Okay, so he's what, 3 for 3 right now?
2 for 3.
2 for 3.
Has he got a built-in conventional weapons arsenal?
I mean, look at those guns. Those guns.
And if he's Peacemaker, he has many weapons as well.
That is true.
No.
The Deagles.
Can he be modified to launch a nuclear strike?
Absolutely. Come on.
I mean, yeah, we got technology. And yeah, he'd be able to. I mean, I think so.
Give him a button.
Yeah.
Can he be easily stolen by a radical terrorist cell for use against the military?
I mean, The Rock got to him, so I mean, he could.
Enough money. Come on, enough money.
The Rock as a radical terrorist. You
Yeah.
Particularly if you're a DC fan.
Yeah.
Can John Cena roar like a T-Rex?
Yes.
You're goddamn right he can, which means
Yes.
John Cena's here. Now, before we go on to our last category, which will be for the Gundam.
It's for all the marbles.
For all the marbles. We do have a question we have to circle back to.
Do you want the Gundam or what's in the box? No, I don't have a box. I wish I had a box. Should have brought a box.
Should have brought
a box.
No.
Cool.
We're wrapping up now. Yeah. We did have a question we had made earlier of the Titans from Attack on Titan. Can they be defined as Metal Gears? Now, I think, much like with these guns.
Wait.
Hey!
Sorry.
Much like with we did. This is not part of the slide.
Okay.
Yeah. We're off the cuff here, Darren. Much like with Dear Mr. Cena here, I think the Titans can be described as having them guns. So I think we could describe them. That covers conventional weapons and bipedal walking tank. As we went over with the brain and actually also the psychic controlling by the Beast Titan, yes, they can be controlled remotely. That puts 3. Can they launch a nuclear strike?
The Colossal Titan's basically walking nuke on its own.
That's 4. Can it be stolen by a radical terrorist cell?
Yes.
One may say they did. They can be mass produced. That's the whole shtick of that series.
The roar, of course.
The roar, of course, yeah.
And can they roar like a T-Rex? I think, yeah.
So Attack on Titans is by theory and proven to be.
By scientific method, because we're doing nothing if not science here.
No, this is
the
important
Titans
science.
are, by definition, Metal Gears. Attack on Titan is a mech show. Okay, so last one for all the marbles.
Okay.
using everything we have learned here together today. Very important question for the group. Am I, Kevin Patrick Coffey, a Metal Gear?
Yes.
You in the Miles Edgeworth cosplay.
Oh, you need the code. You need the code. It's happening. It's happening.
What is your name?
My name is Hunter.
Hunter? There's your microphone.
I'm here to accuse you of being a Metal Gear.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so.
It has picked
Am
up.
I
It has
a
picked up.
bipedal walking tank?
You are bipedal, yes.
Can I be controlled directly or activated remotely?
How many hours you spend on your phone?
Depends. Listen, I'm not at liberty to discuss that, but I believe everyone has certain phrases.
I could be a sleeper cell agent. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right.
We don't know.
Okay. Can I be mass produced? Now let me put it to you this way. A 30-year-old white balding podcaster.
You're a podcaster. You're
Yeah,
always allowed.
That's true.
I think
That's
I
true.
saw 4 of you in Dublin the other day.
I think 4 of me just walked by this door. Have I a built-in conventional weapons arsenal?
Okay, so if we counted claws and teeth for the cat,
I bet this Glock.
then
Your fart smell.
Oh, pretty bad.
It is a built-in weapon.
and if we counted upper body strength for John Cena, no offense, I don't believe your fingernails are as destructive as a cat's, or your upper body is destructive as John Cena's. However, we did not say effective conventional weapons, we said conventional weapons.
They don't have to be good.
Yeah.
That's extremely great. So, I'm only slightly insulted. And that's okay. Can I be modified to launch a nuclear strike?
I mean, you can push a button.
Yeah. You can push a button, or if we brought up how with the original Gundam, depending on the size of the nuclear strike, if the technology were to exist for a hyper-compressed nuclear bomb, as we had discussed with previous sci-fi franchises, yes, you could launch a nuclear strike by just throwing it like a football.
Over the 4-yard line.
In Fallout.
And for all the beans. Can I roll like a T-Rex?
I don't know, can you?
I should practice this.
Yeah. Okay. So answer the question. We gotta wrap up.
Am I a Metal Gear?
In our hearts, we all are.
Way!
You may collect your prize.
Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. We hope you had a good time. Enjoy the Gundam set. Guys, if you liked what we did, please do subscribe to the podcast, take a card.
Pick up a card. We're on Instagram at Nerds No Media. We're on YouTube with all of our shows and panels uploaded live on Nerds No Media.
Everything is up on YouTube. So
everything's up on
please
YouTube.
do.
This will be going up on Spotify in the next week. Thank you all for listening. Have a lovely day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.